Should sellers or buyers contact you?
I work with both, but primarily sellers. But I do have a very, good relationships with a lot of buyers as well, particularly strategic buyers and people that are looking for these specific types of businesses. I only work with home service and trades and construction. I don't do a lot of the other types of business because that's not what my background's in. So I have a kind of a narrow lane of people that I work with as far as the industries and the types of businesses.
I'm a seller of my business. I priced it right. I worked with 𝘃𝗶𝗿𝘁𝘂𝗹 and I priced everything right. I packaged everything right. And this buyer just gave me a letter of intent, an LOI, with the number that I've always wanted. Is there nothing that typically blows up deals after LOI? Is it always a different thing that blow it up? Or is there one category or multiple categories that you notice blows up deals even after the letter of intent has been submitted?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that the letter of intent is one of the most critical areas in a deal when you're working with a buyer. Whenever you take a business to market, the seller has the leverage initially, typically, because they haven't accepted any offers, they haven't signed anything. They're interviewing multiple buyers and trying to find the right fit for their business. The letter of intent is really important because I always tell people price is just one part of a deal. The terms and conditions are really where the rubber meets the road on if this is a good fit for you or not, right? Because it's not just about you getting your price. It's how much of that price is cash at closing. How much of it is perhaps a seller note that you're going to have to hold, or some sort of earnout or other type of clause. What is the indemnification look like on the deal? Is there a clear process outlined from LOI to close that gives everybody confidence that things are moving forward? So one of the things I try to do is on that LOI, I go through when I take a business to market and I actually list in the marketing material what we expect to see in the LOI. And we get a lot of those things out on the table right away to make sure that what the buyers that we're bringing to the sellers are the most qualified, are the most serious, and are putting their best offers in front of them. Because the last thing you want to do is typically when you sign an LOI, you go into what's called an exclusivity period. And an exclusivity period basically means that the seller's not allowed to talk with any other buyers. They're not allowed to entertain any other offers, and they're going to take the business off the market, right? Well, the last thing you want to do is take the business off the market, lose all your momentum, and then realize, as you're going into due diligence, that there's misaligned expectations, right? And that can come in the form of many different things. So we try to ask those questions up front and make sure that we're getting everything out on the table. Where when we sign that LOI, we have a high confidence that, as long as we get through, we supply the information and due diligence and it lines up with what we said, that we're going to close.
How important are non-disclosure agreements during this due diligence process?